What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB playoff action here on Wednesday, October 9th. Tuesday went pretty great, guys. We almost had a sweeper on our hands. We ended up 4-1 on the day. We had the over in that Phillies-Mets game. Over 7, easy hit there. We'll definitely take that one. We had Francisco Lindor over 1.5 total bases. He came through for us as well, and at plus 120, that win feels pretty nice. We also had the Padres at minus 148. That was another win. They came through with that 6-5 win there, but the real gem on the hat there, guys, was the over in that one. That was an absolute no sweat situation. They put up 11 runs in that game. We had the over on the Dodgers Padres, and that one cashed super easily. Our only loss on the night, Ohtani couldn't get to 1.5 total bases. He got one base for us, just not enough to get to 2. So yeah, unfortunately 4-1 on the day, but we will absolutely take that. No problem there, guys. We have a great video for you today going in depth on all 4 MLB playoff games and getting into some player props as well. And we are going to take a quick look at the only NCAA football game on the slate. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work I'm putting in here every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I also want to give a big shout out right now to 5460 George. He is a channel member and he donated $50 the other day. Really appreciate that, man. You are an absolute legend. I really appreciate the support from all of you and especially from the channel members. Seeing that badge next to your comments absolutely warms my heart. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering MLB, NCAA football, UFC, NFL, NHL, and we have the NBA right around the corner. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers with their series tied at 1 game apiece. The Guardians come into this game, guys, fresh off of a tough loss there in game 2. They lost that one 3-0, so not exactly what they had in mind. They did do some positive things in that game in terms of the pitching situation, but just could not get the offense off the ground there. Only 3 hits in the game. Very rough stuff there from the Guardians. A pretty decent start there from Boyd, giving up only 4 hits and no runs in that game, but the bullpen, Clace, guys, giving up that home run, a 3-run home run there. Really rough stuff. A very good game across the board, but then you give up a 3-run home run there in the top of the 9th inning. A rough game out there for Cleveland. So yeah, hoping they can bounce back here. Obviously, I mean, the series is now tied up at 1 game apiece, so I don't think they need to be too terrified here. You know, things have looked okay so far in this series. It looks like they're going to be handing the ball in this one to Alex Cobb. He hasn't had a very long season, guys. 2-1 in the year, a 2.76 ERA. This start is actually going to be his 4th start of the season. His last start, guys, was back on September 1st. Yeah, guys, back on 9-1, 6 innings, 2 hits, only a single run, and it was unearned against the Pirates. So we'll see what he can do out here. Obviously, he hit the IL there with that blister issue. So now he's back, ready to go. The limited action that we've seen him in this season, he has looked fantastic. Although, got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Both of his great starts were against pretty weak teams. And against the Minnesota Twins, 4 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs allowed in that game. So definitely a spot we have to approach here with a little bit of at least uncertainty, if not fear here for Alex Cobb. But we'll see what he can do. I'm not expecting a disaster performance from him necessarily, but we'll see what happens out there in terms of their bullpen. Obviously, we still, despite giving up that 3-run home run, we feel very good about this Cleveland Guardians bullpen, guys. They've been clearly far and away the best bullpen in the major leagues this season. Insane numbers that they've put up out there. That's one of the main reasons this team has met with so much success this year, is that bullpen just being absolutely lights out. You give them a 1-run lead, this team, usually the vast majority of the time, they're going to find a way. That bullpen's going to find a way to bring you the win. So really the question for the Guardians, I feel like in this game, although I may be slightly unsettled about the starting pitching situation, is what are they going to get from their offense? They got 7 runs in game 1 there, looking fantastic, but 0 runs there in game 2, and it was pretty bleak, guys. I mean, we saw Quan get a hit there at the top of the order, but not a lot of other positives. I mean, Naylor came up with a hit as well, but not a great day at the plate there for the Guardians overall. And this is a team that struggled a bit at the plate this season. I mean, they finished the year 14th in runs scored, so not awful, but 22nd in batting average. That obviously doesn't, feel great. 18th in on base percentage. They rely pretty heavily on Jose Ramirez to put up big numbers and big power numbers. I mean, the dude hit 39 home runs this year, had almost 120 RBIs, so lots of reasons to feel good about him, but the postseason is a whole different ballgame, and when you only have one big power hitter out there to rely on, seems like it can get a little bit sketchy out there. So we'll see what they can do up there at the plate here going up against the Detroit Tigers, who look like they are poised to run a bullpen start out here in game 3. But looking at what they did there in game 2, obviously that clutch home run there in the top of the 9th inning for Carpenter. Pretty crazy stuff. We saw their pitching look decent. Skubal, another fantastic outing. The dude is absolutely nuts out there. Not somebody you want to be betting against ever. 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, 0 runs allowed in that game. So very, very good stuff there. We saw the bullpen come in and look great, giving up no runs, no hits, 3 strikeouts over 2 innings. Very, very good stuff there for the Tigers bullpen. Such good stuff they got out of their bullpen, guys, that it looks like this is going to be a full bullpen start here from the Detroit Tigers. Something they've already found success with this season once. It's been very, very good out there. The Tigers bullpen through the postseason, guys, a 2.57 bullpen ERA. They've given up 13 hits, guys, but that's over 19 strikeouts. So yeah, not a disaster. I think this is a very, very good bullpen here for the Tigers. And over the course of the season, guys, they were very good as well. Nothing really to complain about there. This was a bullpen that really locked it down, especially at the end of the year. A 3.55 bullpen ERA over the course of the season looks pretty good. So going with the full bullpen start here, not a big concern for me with the Tigers. Like I said, a great, great bullpen team. If they can, get similar production to what they got in game 1 and game 2, I don't think we're going to be too worried here about Detroit. Well, game 1, maybe that's a bad example, but generally speaking, this bullpen I feel fantastic about. The bats didn't look that great there in game 2. Obviously, guys, waiting there till the 9th inning to get anything done. Carpenter, really the hero out there. We did see Malloy do well at the top of the order, and Verling did some good stuff, but yeah, just not an amazing day. I mean, I guess they piled up 9 hits in total, but could not get a run across the plate there until the top of the 9th inning. So we'll see what they're able to do in this one. Hoping for better stuff out there, obviously. I mean, generally speaking, this season, this was not a great offense. The offense was kind of what held this team back. They were 29th in the majors in on-base percentage, 24th in batting average. Riley Green led the way for this team, a 262 batting average and 24 home runs. Clearly not something you necessarily want to be writing home about, but generally speaking, guys, I do think the Tigers could, they're in a pitching matchup here where I think they could possibly be able to put up some runs. And looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we've got the Guardians at -110, we've got the Tigers at -104. We've got an over/under of 7 out there. Cleveland 42-39 on the road this season. Detroit 43-38 at home. So not a whole lot of not big splits there. Not a whole lot we can glean from that. In terms of the over/under, we've got both teams showing trends towards the under right now. Cleveland 45-30-6 to the under on the road this year. Detroit 43-35-3 to the under at home. Not a lot of big shocks there in terms of those numbers, guys. Not incredible offensive teams. So trends towards the under certainly make some sense to me. And when we look at that total of 7, I think that's pretty reasonable to look at the under in that one. I kind of expected this one to be 6.5. So there's a half run of value there right off the bat. And while I'm not, this isn't a skewball start or anything like that, the Tigers bullpen very, very good. I think we could see a good, good full bullpen start there from Detroit. And Cleveland, I mean, I guess we have to be a little bit less sure what we're going to see from Alex Cobb, but I'm generally expecting good stuff from this veteran. I mean, he's been out there. He's seen a lot of stuff. I do think we'll see a good outing from him in this one. So, guys, going to be leaning towards that under 7 in this game. In terms of the side, I think there's a valid reason to be looking at the Cleveland Guardians to have a little bit of a bounce back here. Although going up against Detroit, guys, this seems a little bit rough playing on the road here. Not that Cleveland was a bad road team, but they weren't amazing. And I just don't have a ton of faith in their hitters going up against the bullpen. So if you're forcing me to take a side in this game, which I'm not really all that interested in, to be honest, I guess give me Cleveland -110 on the road here as a extremely small lean, but really, guys, I think the value in this one, and the pick that's probably going into the pinned comment, is going to be the under 7 in this one. In terms of some player props for this game, guys, first of all, we're going to start off with the first inning totals. I know you guys love those no run first inning or yes run first inning plays, and in this one, guys, we are 100% looking at a no run first inning spot. If you ask me, it's -140, so not the worst price you're going to see out there on a no run first inning. I think we're going to see offense at a premium in this game. Obviously going with that underplay, so no runs scored in the first inning makes an awful lot of sense to me. In terms of some player props here, guys, I think Green under a half of a hit in this game is at plus 165. So for him to go hitless doesn't seem like too big of a stretch to me. The guy's been struggling a little bit. I've liked, generally speaking, what we've seen from Alex Cobb, although we haven't seen anything from him recently. But if Cobb can go out there, get Green out once, maybe twice, I don't think he's going to do well here against that Cleveland bullpen. So plus 165 seems like a great price there. I also am looking at Torkelson, guys, under a half of a hit. So no hits for him is at plus 110. I think that's very reasonable as well. Somebody else that's not really swinging, not what I would term as the hottest bat, although, not a ton of guys there for the Tigers are. He went 0 for 4 in game 2. I think there's a very reasonable chance we could see him struggle here again in game 3. This just isn't a great spot here, and the Cleveland bullpen, like I've been saying, guys, is elite. Next up, guys, we've got Meadows. I also like the under on his hits. 0 hits for him is plus 140. I think he's going to struggle at the plate, just like the rest of the Tigers are going to struggle at the plate here. He did have a hit in game 2, so maybe that's something of a concern, but I don't think it's too big of a deal to see him regress here. And at plus 140, I think it's very, very reasonable to expect him, a guy that could only end up with like 3 plate appearances in this game, that's not out of the realm of possibility, to struggle out there and not put up a hit. So, guys, switching over here to the other side, we are looking at the Guardians here. Naylor under half of a hit. We're looking at more and more unders here. He did have a hit there in game 2, so kudos to him, but will he be able to back that up in this one? I don't think so. Plus 140 for him to not get a hit in this game seems extremely or plus 135 for him not to get a hit in this game seems extremely reasonable to me. Another guy that I think is probably going to struggle out there is Kwan. I know it's a bit rough to be taking the under on hits on a leadoff hitter, but guys, he hasn't had an amazing back half of the season. He's been okay now that he's healthy. It seems like things are trending in the right direction. He had an incredible catch the other day, but yeah, I don't take him to get hitless in this game is plus 165. Seems reasonable to me. I think he could struggle at the plate as well. And last but not least, guys, we've got Jose Ramirez. I like his over in this game, actually. I think somebody on Cleveland's going to get some hits. He is their best hitter by far. He's been struggling a bit this postseason. He went 0 for 3 in game 2, and I think taking him to get over 1.5 total bases there at plus 115 is a pretty reasonable spot, especially if you're desperate to have some sort of positive hitting player prop in this game. So that's what we got for Cleveland against Detroit, guys. Let's go ahead and move over to the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Phillies find themselves in a 2-1 hole right now, guys. They lost game 3 of this series 2-7, so pretty bleak stuff there from the Phillies. They couldn't get anything going against Manaea or that Mets bullpen, so rough stuff there for the Phillies. They're hoping they can bounce back here a little bit. Man, a game they scored only 2 runs on 5 hits. They had an error in that game, so that can't feel great, and we did not see good stuff there from the Phillies. Nola had a rough day. The bullpen didn't look too good, so lots and lots of room there for concern. They're hoping they can get a bounce back here in the form of a good start from Ranger Suarez, who finished the year 12-8 overall with a 3.46 ERA, but the guy did not look good at the end of the season. Really, all of those positive numbers were piled up by him early on. The dude looked nuts over his first, 11, 12 starts, something like that. It looked incredible, but things have fallen off, and the last time he faced the Mets didn't look amazing. It was at the Mets back on 9/21. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Both of them were home runs in that game. He's had control issues here down the stretch. Definitely a guy that can put up some walks, so definitely major reason for concern here. I mean, going up against a Mets team that has hit him pretty hard this season. They hit him hard back in June. That was a game the Phillies managed to win 7-2, but yeah, we saw Suarez give up 8 hits and 2 earned runs in that game. Just not the best look. He also got knocked around a little bit, even back when he was pitching really well back in mid-May. So yeah, not loving this spot for Suarez here going up against a Mets team that definitely seems to see the ball pretty well against him. I'm not saying it's impossible that he has a good start. I'm just saying, given these trends, it's looking pretty unlikely. And in terms of the Phillies bullpen, not really our favorite guys, not a bullpen that you're wanting to back. They finished the year pretty much in the middle of the pack, which was actually a big positive move for a bullpen that had been really, really bad at different times this season, guys. It was looking like it was going to sink this team there for a while. The bullpen was just so bad. No lead was safe. They could just, implode at the drop of a hat. So it seems like they figured things out a little bit here as the postseason approached. But guys, not a lot of super positive developments. I mean, looking at Game 3, they did not look very good, and this bullpen definitely a major area of concern for this Phillies team. So we'll see if they can put together some decent stuff out of the pen. But with Suarez out there, him going more than 5 innings seems very unlikely to me, and that is going to put the bullpen in quite the tough spot. So definitely lots, I would say, of room for concern there for the Phillies. Not feeling great about their pitching situation for this game, and the offense didn't look great there in Game 3, putting up only 2 runs on 5 hits. We saw Schwarber, got washed twice, so some positives there at the top of the order, but Turner 1 hit there. Harper got a hit, so put an RBI on the board there for him. We continue to see Castellanos do pretty well, but yeah, guys, I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling it that much for this Phillies offense. The bottom of the order has been something of a black hole for them, and just a little bit sketchy here. Not a team that's swinging the hottest bats coming into this game, and I looked like, going up against Manaea, that was somebody they had some pretty positive history against, and they really just couldn't seem to get to him. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the Mets, and Quintana could be a bit of a rough look for a Phillies offense that was one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball throughout the regular season. Going up against the Mets here, the New York Mets come into this game in control of this series, looking to close it out. They're up 2-1. They're giving the ball to Jose Quintana, hoping he can follow up. Was an amazing start from Manaea there in Game 3. Manaea went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, only a single earned run, and struck out 6 in that game, and the bullpen came in and looked very solid. I mean, Matten did give up 1 earned run there, so that's obviously not ideal, but we saw decent, manageable stuff there from the Mets bullpen. Not a bullpen that I'm putting up on some sort of pedestal. They haven't been incredible this year, but I think they're right there around the same level as the Phillies in terms of their starter for this game. 4 guys, we got Quintana on the mound. He finished the year 10-10 overall, 3.75 ERA. His last start, guys, was against the Milwaukee Brewers. At the Brewers, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs allowed. So very good stuff there. Also, guys, and probably more importantly in this matchup, guys, back on 9/13 at the Phillies, he went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, and no runs. He walked 0, struck out 4 in that game. Very good stuff against a potent Phillies offense. And early in the season, he did have some struggles against the Phillies. 1 bad start in June, 1 mediocre to good, I guess, start in May against the Phillies. So we'll see what he can do in this one, but definitely comes into this game having to have some confidence here, being so good his last start against the Phillies. And speaking of confidence, I think this Mets bullpen probably has some confidence too. I mean, obviously giving up a run there in Game 3 might not be ideal, but this is a bullpen that's gotten much better over the course of the season. Feeling pretty good about them. They closed the season out with a 4.04 bullpen ERA, right around the same level there as the Phillies, but this is not a terrible bullpen, I don't think, by any stretch. And while they did look good, but maybe not elite there in Game 3, I do think we're in line to see a good start from Quintana and a good outing from this bullpen. So definitely, in terms of the pitching situation between these two teams, I like the Mets pitching, just whole overall situation in this one quite a bit better. In terms of their offense, obviously coming off of a game where they scored 7 runs has to feel pretty great. 9 hits, 7 runs in a postseason game. Excellent stuff there. We saw Lindor look good, getting a hit. We saw Iglesias look very good with a couple of hits there. We saw a home run from Pete Alonso. Hope you were on that prop. We had Winker get a home run. Very good stuff here from this Mets offense. So hoping they can carry that one over to this game. Over the course of the season, the Mets offense was pretty good. They finished things up 7th overall in runs scored, 8th in on-base percentage. This is not an offense to turn your nose up at. And I don't think they're too one-dimensional. I don't think they're an offense that relies too heavily on any one guy. Obviously, Pete Alonso's relied on for a lot of the power, and Francisco Lindor is obviously the table setter. But generally speaking, guys, I do think this is a solid all-around offense that really any of the big, anybody on the roster could step up and have a pretty solid game. So let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers for this one, guys. We got the Phillies at -115, the Mets at +100. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this one. The Phillies, guys, they are 40-40, so a 500 team on the road. They are also 42-35-3 to the over on the road. The Mets are 46-34 at home, so a very solid home team, guys. They're also 42-38 to the over on the road. So we've got both teams showing trends towards the over. And in terms of the over-under in this game, while I do think this is a pretty good spot for Jose Quintana, I do like the over 7.5 in this one. I think we could see either team put up significant runs. We could see either bullpen definitely struggle in this game. And while I do expect good stuff from Quintana, like I was saying, I don't necessarily know that he's going to go super deep into this game. So definitely a look at over 7.5. It's not that hard to get to 8 runs, guys, and I think we could see that happen for sure here in Game 4 in terms of the side in this one. The Phillies are minus 115. The Mets are plus 100. I just like the Mets pitching situation way too much in this game to go against them, especially at home. Give me the Mets plus 100 in this one. That over-under play, the overplay, and the Mets plus 100 both have a chance to end up in the pinned comment. I do like the Mets plus 100 slightly more than I like that overplay, but I do like that overplay a good amount. But regardless, guys, give me the Mets at plus 100 in this one. I think they're in an excellent spot with a definite pitching advantage. In terms of some props for this game, first of all, we've got that good old no-run first inning. I think taking no-run first inning at minus 135 is a very reasonable spot. I'm a bit concerned here about the Phillies. I mean, Suarez could definitely give up a run there in the first inning. That would be my main concern. I do expect Quintana to be good right out of the gate, so not too worried about that, especially with Schwarber maybe not looking amazing there, at the top of the lineup for the Phillies. But generally speaking, if you want a no-run first inning spot, I think no-run first inning is a good one in this game. And in terms of some player props, guys, I do think we're going to see some Phillies hitters struggle a bit in this one. Trey Turner's been hitting the ball well this season, don't get me wrong, this postseason, but I do like him to go hitless in this game. You can get that at plus 175. That seems pretty reasonable to me for him to have a little bit of a cold night. He's been swinging a hot bat. I don't know if that for sure continues. In terms of somebody I think that is headed in a positive direction, I think Nick Castellanos to get over a half of a hit, to get a hit in this game at minus 225. I know it's an expensive price, but those hitter props always are. I think that's a very reasonable spot for him to get a hit. I also like Bryce Harper here, to have a bit of a rough time. He's a guy that can go a bit cold, and while he's been swinging the bat okay, I do expect him to possibly struggle in this one, and taking him to go hitless at plus 150, definitely something you want to at least take into consideration. And on the other side of the coin, guys, here, looking at the New York Mets, I like Francisco Lindor to continue to get on base and hit the ball well, taking him over 0.5 hits, taking him to get a hit in this game at minus 250. Obviously a steep price, but he's at the top of the lineup. I am expecting a very good day from him, and really you could talk me into pretty much any positive prop here on any Mets hitter. I think they're in for a good time in this one. I also like Nimmo in this game to get a hit at minus 200. That seems very reasonable to me. He's been solid out there. He's cashed this hit prop for us a few different times. I like this spot from him a lot. And guys, we're going to run it back here one more time with Pete Alonso to hit a home run at plus 400. He hit a home run yesterday. Obviously, hitting home runs in back-to-back days can be a little bit rough, but at plus 400 for the best power hitter there for the Mets, it seems very, very reasonable to me. The dude's a monster. He's got plenty of pop in that bat. I think we could easily see him take one out of the park. That's all we've got there for the Phillies at the New York Mets. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. First of all, this is a great time to sign up at stumpthespread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering MLB, NCAA football, UFC, and the NFL. If you just want to test out the service, a great way to do that is by joining our free email list, which will get you the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just go ahead and click that link in the description. It'll take you right over to stumpthespread.com. Also, guys, just to clarify some of the questions we've been getting in the emails and in the comments, I am not the MLB capper for stumpthespread.com. These YouTube picks are obviously free to everyone and are just what I am seeing out there. We have an expert with nearly 15 years of experience that covers MLB and has a very strong algorithm and some very cool tools that he uses to bring our premium members the best picks possible. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. Now back to the games. Now let's go ahead and hop over to the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. We saw the Royals get the win there in Game 2 to tie things up at 1 game apiece. Very, very good stuff there. Perez's home run, that 4-run fourth inning there for the Royals kind of sealed the deal for them. They looked very, very good in that game. They're going to need to replicate that performance here in Game 3. The Yankees come into this game obviously probably not super happy with the way things look. I mean, they didn't get very good stuff there from Rodon. They used up a lot of bullpen guys in that game, and yeah, it was all for naught there. They could not get enough runs on the board to fix things, so they're going to be hoping for a great outing here from Clark Schmidt, who comes into this game 5-5 on the season, a 2.85 ERA on the year. Not a guy that's seen, just an interesting season for him so far. Over the last month, guys, he did look pretty decent, but didn't finish things off well, struggling against Baltimore and struggling against Pittsburgh. So a little bit worried here about Clark Schmidt. Not somebody that's put up insane numbers over the course of the season, although he is somebody that hasn't faced the Royals yet this year. So could that be a bit of an advantage for him? I would say possibly, but this isn't necessarily somebody that I'm super, super excited about. I mean, over his last 5 starts coming into the end of the season, he gave up 4, 3, 1, and 2 earned runs respectively, and never made it deeper than 5 2/3 innings into a game. So a little bit concerning here with Clark Schmidt on the mound for the Yankees, and they did just use up a lot of bullpen guys, although it's the postseason, the bullpen can put in a little bit of extra work. And over the course of the year, the Yankees were a very good bullpen. They started things off a bit hotter than they finished the season, I'll say that for sure, but this has been a pretty good bullpen. So I'm not terrified about their bullpen situation, but that in conjunction here with Clark Schmidt on the mound definitely gives me at least a little bit of a reason for concern, but we'll see what they can get done out there. I don't necessarily think it's a, like press the alarm bells type of situation here for the Yankees. I think they're going to be okay on the mound, but maybe just not a situation that I'm absolutely in love with. They're going to need to put up a little bit more offense than they put up there in game 2, scoring only 2 runs. They had 7 hits in that game, but only 2 runs. They also had an error. Gotta kind of, clean up. You can't be having that kind of stuff happen in the postseason, guys, but we saw Torres go hitless there at the top of the lineup. That's not good. Juan Soto also going hitless. Very, very rough stuff there. Judge came through with a hit. I mean, we did see some decent stuff out there. We saw Stanton put up an RBI and a hit in this game, so good to see some life from him. Chisholm Jr. looking good out there. That dude's been a monster. It was great to see him get a hold of one, but yeah, maybe not the best hitting performance from the Yankees, a team with the payroll and the sluggers that, you expect them to find a way to put up some runs. So definitely in need of something of a bounce back there for what was one of the best offenses in the majors this season. I mean, 3rd in runs scored, 9th in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage, and they were the 4th best slugging percentage team in the MLB. And they had Aaron Judge, guys. The dude batted .322 with 58 home runs. So definitely, you should be expecting a bounce back here from the Yankees offense, but it'll be interesting to see what they can do going up against the Royals, who have to be feeling great coming off of that 4-2 win. They got a very good start. I mean, maybe that's a little bit hyperbolic. They got a good start from Rangans. More impressively, guys, they got a great outing from that bullpen. Bullpen soaking up a ton of innings there to help them get the 4-2 win. So a close game, and the bullpen for the Royals, definitely one of the more concerning areas for this team, came through in the clutch. They're going to be giving the ball to Seth Lugo to start this game. He's 16-9 on the year with a 3.00 ERA. His last start was against the Baltimore Orioles. At Camden Yards, guys, he went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, but only a single earned run. It was a home run. He walked 1, struck out 6, so very reasonable stuff there. The encouraging thing here for the Royals, guys, is the last time he faced the Yankees back on September 10th, he looked amazing. He went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, no earned runs. He struck out 10 in that game and walked 0. An absolutely dominant performance there in a 5-0 win for the Royals. So they're definitely going to be expecting great stuff from Lugo in this game, and I'm expecting the same. The dude has been an absolute monster out there this season. He's a veteran. He's not going to be rattled by the moment. I think he's going to go out there and absolutely get the job done. The question is, what can we expect from this Royals bullpen? 2 nights in a row, can they be good? I mean, a bullpen that finished in the bottom half of the majors, no doubt about it, and was a huge problem for this team. Not down the stretch, but I would say in the the back half of the season at least, it was a bit of a concern. Maybe the last 15-20 games they cleaned up their act a bit, but this was not historically a bullpen that you could super trust. So we'll see if we can trust him in this one. I'm leaning slightly towards trust, but against a Yankees lineup that is full of just great hitters, it's a little bit scary out there. And in terms of the offense for the Royals, guys, obviously, I mean, only scoring in 1 inning, scoring 4 runs there in the 4th inning and nothing the rest of the way. 11 hits is nice, but you got to find a way to get some guys across the plate. And one of the problems that has been plaguing this team has been the struggles here of Bobby Witt Jr., an absolute monster, but yeah, 0 for 5 there in game 2. Not what you're wanting to see. We did see lots of other guys step up. Perez stepped up with a big home run. That was good. Pham putting up some hits, some RBIs. That guy's been a clutch acquisition for them. So we'll see what the Royals can do at the plate in this game. They've been a very up and down offense over the course of the season, finishing things up 13th in the majors in runs scored, but they were as high as 4th or 5th at least 2 different points this season. And yeah, this has been an offense that's shown elite and questionable stuff over the course of the season. So we'll see what version we get here going up against Clark Schmidt, but I'm generally speaking expecting pretty good stuff from the Royals in this game. And guys, looking at the numbers here, we've got the Yankees at -115, the Royals at +102. We've got an over-under of 8 in this one. The Yankees are 50-31 on the road. That's an MLB best road record, guys. That's pretty impressive stuff. But the Royals, they're 45-36 at home, and for quite a while, they were right up there, one of the best home records in the majors. So we'll see what they can do. In terms of the side in this game, guys, I'm definitely leaning towards the Royals at +102. I think this is an excellent spot for them. I think they have an advantage, at least in terms of the starters. When it comes to the bullpen, in, that could get a lot more sketchy, but I definitely think we're going to see a good start here from Seth Lugo, and that's going to put the Royals in a great position to be able to come away with this win. So plus 102 looks excellent to me. Go ahead and give me the Royals. And in terms of the over-under here, guys, I'm not quite as interested in this spot. I do lean a bit towards the under 8 here. I don't think we're going to see very much offense from the Yankees, and we don't see a ton of offense from the sluggers on the Yankees. I think that is definitely going to lead to this being a much more low-scoring game. I think we could see something very similar to what we saw in Game 2, so like a 4-2 game, no problem there. Go ahead and give me that under. But guys, in terms of some player props for this game, definitely want to take a look at those. I'm looking at the no-run first inning in this one as well. Haven't found a yes-run first inning spot so far in this, in this video, but hey, maybe we'll find one on the last game, but not on this one, guys. I think this is a no-run first inning at minus 130 kind of spot. Will that go in the pinned comment? Seems pretty unlikely to me, but I do think there's a decent chance we see both teams not getting on the board there in the first frame. In terms of some player props, guys, I like Seth Lugo over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 110. These Yankees power hitters tend to strike out a lot, and Lugo's got good enough strikeout stuff. He's had success striking out. He put up 10 strikeouts the last time he faced the Yankees. Does not seem like too big of a stretch for him to get over 4.5 strikeouts in this game. So that's a prop that definitely has an excellent chance to end up in the pinned comment. I also, guys, I'm going to keep playing it until it happens, but I think we are eventually going to be in for a bounce back here from Bobby Witt Jr. Taking him at over 1.5 total bases at even odds makes a ton of sense to me. This guy's got to bust out of this slump at some point. He's way too good of a hitter for it to continue for too much longer. I think he finds a way in this game. And following that up, guys, I think Michael Garcia over 1.5 total bases there at plus 215. He comes into this game swinging a very hot bat. I think that can continue at least enough for him to get a couple bases here. And at plus 215, you don't need him to do it too often for this bet to be profitable in the long run. In terms of the Yankees side of the player props, guys, I think taking Juan Soto over 1.5 total bases at plus 120 could make some sense. He's in a big bounce back spot. Do I like this enough to put it in the pinned comment? No, this is kind of a little bit, maybe a little bit, just leaning against, this is a little bit of insurance in case we do see the Yankees hit the ball off of Lugo. But yeah, this is just, maybe a bounce back spot here for Soto, but this isn't necessarily a spot, even at plus 120, that I think is going anywhere near the pinned comment. You could also angle a little bit towards Aaron Judge here at over 1.5 total bases. That's even odds. You could also take him to hit a home run. I could get behind that as well. But once again, guys, these are more if you're leaning towards the Yankees, which not exactly where I'm leaning in this one. One that does definitely make some sense to me, guys, Chilson Jr. under 0.5 total bases at plus 130. After his good game there in Game 2, I think it's a definite possibility we'll see him struggle here in Game 3, and seeing him go over would not surprise me whatsoever. So we'll see what happens out there, but those are my leans for the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. Now, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. We just saw the Padres get the win there in Game 3 of their series. The Padres coming away with the win as predicted, so we'll definitely take that. Unfortunately, we don't have confirmed starters yet for this game, and we're just getting the first glimpse at the numbers. Like I said, guys, their game just finished up here, trying to get these videos out to you as early as possible. Right now, we're looking at the Dodgers at plus 110 and the Padres at minus 110. So yeah, not the best information on this game, unfortunately. Just wanted to go ahead and cover it here briefly. 4 plays on this game to end up in the pinned comment. I will definitely be waiting for all the players to be confirmed, to see who we're going to have out there on the mound and all that kind of stuff before we would put anything from this game in the pinned comment. But we're going to go ahead and run over it here real quick just to get it out to you guys. Right now, obviously we've got to be pretty stoked. If you are a Padres fan, things ended up basically as great as you'd hope for them to go there in a very close Game 3, winning that one 6-5. Tatis hit a home run again. That dude is absolutely on fire. We saw a pretty questionable start there from Michael King, and you still got the win, so that's got to feel great. We were on the Padres and the over in that game, so we will certainly take it. But yeah, some more hot hitting there from the Padres. We're seeing Peralta look very good there at DH. Very, very good stuff across the board there for the Padres hitters. The Dodgers, on the other hand, not a great time. Ohtani did get off the schneid there with a hit of his own. Mookie Betts looking very good. Freddie Freeman even putting up a hit there on that bum ankle, but just not enough there, losing 6-5. They couldn't get enough offense going down the stretch. Yeah, the Padres put up 6 runs there in the second inning, and that was all they ended up needing. We saw, the no-run first inning did not hit in that one. We saw the Dodgers get on the board. Just a crazy, crazy game out there. Neither starter looked good. That overplay was absolutely as good as gold. So, yeah, unfortunately, with no confirmed starters for this game, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the Dodgers are going to be in absolute desperation mode here. The Padres technically have a little bit of a cushion, but you would expect them to want to do everything they possibly could to close this one out as fast as possible. So we'll see what starters they end up with, guys. Sorry, no confirmed starters right now. We will definitely be, jumping back to look at this one in terms of the, the trends here. I mean, the Dodgers, a very good road team. The Padres, a very good home team. We got both teams showing trends towards the over, and with, 11 total runs scored there in game 3 of this series, definitely going to be wanting to take a look towards the over, but that is all very dependent on who we end up with on the mound. Neither bullpen has looked necessarily, terrible or amazing, although, I mean, we did just get a very good bullpen situation there from the Padres. They could be a little bit burnt out, and the Dodgers even used up some guys as well, so, we'll see what the bullpen situation is as well coming into this game, but unfortunately don't even have all the updates there either. So, yeah, guys, unfortunately can't give you the best leans here. If you're, begging me for leans, before the starters are even out, I guess I would say I'm leaning slightly towards the Padres. They seem to really have the momentum in this series. A little bit worried about the Dodgers, but everything could change based on who is starting pitching in this game. So a little bit of a lean towards the Padres on the side. Definitely a significant lean towards the over in this game in terms of the over/under. But like I said, guys, really don't have all the information yet for this one. So we'll see what happens. Worried, a little bit too worried about all the uncertainty to give you a serious lean in this one. In terms of some player props, this is just what I'm looking at very early, leaning a bit towards a yes run first inning, obviously depending on those starters. I think that is certainly possible in this game. I also think it's time for Max Muncy to possibly pop off and get a hold of one and hit a home run in this game. I don't think that's too crazy out there. The dude definitely has the pop to get the job done, and you can get him at, I would assume, pretty good odds. The dude's only hit 15 home runs this season. It would be, kind of a shot in the dark, but I don't think it's impossible in a game that I expect to feature plenty of offense. Like I said, depending on starters. I also think we're going to see Ohtani continue to hit better in this series. Taking him over 1.5 total bases makes some sense to me. I definitely think Freddie Freeman is likely to struggle in this game. Taking him under 0.5 total bases in this game also makes a lot of sense. That ankle is going to be sore after he lasted a whole game, so congratulations on that, but it is not going to feel better tomorrow. It is definitely going to be feeling worse. That's kind of how ankles go. Until it gets all the way better, it is going to be a nagging issue. On the Padres side, I think Machado continuing to hit the ball well. Over 1.5 total bases for him makes some sense to me. I also think Profar to get a hit in this game makes some sense. I think we could see him get a hit. I mean, he got a hit yesterday. The dude seems to be seeing the ball well. So Profar over a half of a hit. I like that one a good amount. And Mookie Betts continue to hit the ball well. The dude looks like he is locked in now. 2 hits yesterday. The dude is killing it. Over 1.5 total bases for Mookie Betts there for the Dodgers. I think that is an excellent spot. But all of that, guys, very dependent on who we see out there on the mound. So be sure to be checking back on that pinned comment to see what we actually like enough from this game to put down there. Now, guys, hopping over to our one college football play of the day. We've only got one game out there on the slate, and you guys are asking to cover the college football game, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Not one that I have a huge read on. Obviously, New Mexico State and Jacksonville State, not the biggest of names. New Mexico State comes into this game 1-4 on the season. They just lost 50-40 there against New Mexico, so a little bit rough there. I mean, to lose a fairly competitive game, I'll say, but they have not faced a very tough schedule, and they only got a win there in their first game of the season there against SEMO, so not a team that I am super duper high on. In that loss against the New Mexico Lobos, we saw Mexico State do not a lot of positive things, I'm going to be honest. I mean, they're a team that only wants to run the ball exclusively, a ground attack. Yeah, the passing game looked very pedestrian. At least they didn't turn the ball over in that game. That's one positive, but man, their defense looked absolutely terrible, giving up 50 points. They could not stop the run. They couldn't really stop the pass, to be honest, even though the New Mexico Lobos, not a team that's great through the air. So yeah, not a lot of big positives to look at here for New Mexico State, even going up against a team like the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. I mean, They've played kind of a rough non-conference schedule. They got blown out by number 22 Louisville, but their last couple of games have looked much better. They did have kind of a weird start to the game against Kennesaw State, their last one, but beating USM in a blowout and then beating Kennesaw State, it seems like this team is kind of on the track they want to be on there in the Conference USA. So we'll see what they can get done. I mean, Tyler Huff has done some positive things at quarterback this season, and against Kennesaw State, he limited the mistakes for sure, but the running game, even for him, the running game is the main focus, guys. 176 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. We saw Trey Stewart put up 4 rushing touchdowns in that game. Absolute crazy stuff there in the ground game, and a game that featured 87 total points. Just crazy, crazy offense there. We didn't see a ton of turnovers. We did see Jacksonville State lose 1 turnover in that game, but they forced 3 interceptions and a fumble, so forcing 4 turnovers in that game. Pretty crazy stuff there. So yeah, Jacksonville State looking much better. The defense looked good there, forcing all those turnovers. They did give up 24 points, but I don't think that's the end of the world, guys. And looking at some numbers for this one, we got New Mexico State. They are 1-4 against the spread this season. They're 2-1 to the over/under. We see Jacksonville State. They're 2-3 against the spread and 4-1 to the over this season, with Jacksonville State being -20.5 in this game. I'm not super duper interested in the side, but if you do want a bet on the side, guys, I do think Jacksonville State is probably going to win this game convincingly. So taking them -20.5 could make some sense to me, but I also think we're going to see a ton of offense in this game. So over 58.5, probably my favorite lean in this game. I don't think any of this is really going in the pinned comment. I'm not, don't have that much faith in this one, but my leans in this game, definitely Jacksonville State -20.5 at home and over 58.5. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.